Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand what is happening in your favorite comic books. I then have a tendency to get a lot of coffee in me and read them back to you excitedly like a small child who's super hyped about things. People call me the comic book hype man. This is Comicstorian. Today we're going to be covering the original Infinity Gauntlet storyline. I know we probably should have done it around the movie. We failed. I apologize. Here it is. Part 1 of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. As two men walk across a desolate planet, one tells the other that there is no denying it. Anything they wish to be, they are. Nothing in this universe dares challenge that claim. There is only one word to describe who they are. That is God. Mephisto bows his head to Thanos and tells him that he is proud to be his first acolyte. Bask in the glory that is his divine presence. Thanos stares at the stone carving of the word God, telling him the moment is upon them when the stars come to realize the absolute truth of my words. And with one wave of the Infinity Gauntlet, the stone carving shatters. Thanos says, "None shall deny me my righteous place in the pantheon of cosmic gods." Meanwhile, down on Earth in the Sanctum Sanctorum, the master of the Mystic Arts, Dr. Strange, enjoys a cup of tea while reading a book when he suddenly hears a loud crash. Dr. Strange grabs his cloak, shouting, "By the Vishanti, who dare intrude on these premises?" But as Dr. Strange flies over to the next room, he sees the one person that he expected to never see, the Silver Surfer. Dr. Strange and Wong quickly pick the Surfer up and place him onto the couch, and he calls out that he comes with a warning. A great danger is coming this way, and it must be stopped. His arrival could herald the end of the universe. Thanos is coming. Thanos, the being once thought dead, is no longer. Brought back by Mistress Death, the Mad Titan returned, so that he may mold the universe to Death's liking. Death had but one task for Thanos. By giving him his greatly augmented power, Thanos is to slaughter half of the sentient population in the universe. But Thanos was too arrogant to be anyone's thrall, so he conceived a sinister scheme by gazing upon Death's infinity well. There he learned the Infinity Gem's true power, and he convinced Mistress Death that his task could not be carried out without them. After claiming the 6 gems, Thanos now has unbridled power, the power of a god. It could very well mean the end of all that there is. Not realizing the extent of Thanos' new might, the one called the Destroyer and himself confronted the Titan, an almost fatal miscalculation on their part. They were helpless puppets within his grasp, and he laughed as he toyed with them. But then he grew tired of them, and he used the Soul Gem to steal their spiritual essence. When they awoke, the Destroyer and himself found themselves in a metaphysical world within the Soul Gem, and inside of there was a man called Adam Warlock. It was through a spell casted by Warlock that allowed the Destroyer and himself to escape, which then he immediately set out for Earth. He wished to warn them. He prays that he is not too late. However, while the Silver Surfer tells Dr. Strange all that has happened back in the cosmos, Thanos returns to the mistress that he loves, seeking forgiveness in obtaining the Infinity Gems. In Death's silence, she made it very clear she is not so forgiving. As Death turns her back to Thanos, he shouts, "It was never my intention to wrong you. Your scorns wound me deeply. I only sought such glory in order to become worthy of your love. Your heart deserves better than a thrall. I had no choice but to become your equal." Death's servant corrects him, stating, "Not equal, superior." Thanos turns back and the servant continues, telling him, "No, Mistress Death is nothing more than your love slave. That was a position that you created. Your love is like bondage." And Thanos yells, "No! Death should be revered! Shrines should be built to her! Yes, shrines." And just as he thought that, so it became. And a shrine dedicated to his one true love, Mistress Death, appeared. He takes his seat on one of the thrones, calling to Death, and as she walks up, she glares at him and turns away. Thanos stands up asking, "Why?" And Mephisto tells him that perhaps it's because she does not yet realize the true stagnant depths of his black soul and what he is capable of achieving. Thanos says, "Yes, proof of my depravity is what is needed." With the power of the gauntlet, he brings forth a mangled being, one charred and twisted, and he tells Death to allow him to introduce her to Nebula, my granddaughter. Or so she claims to be. With my power and spirit, I sculpted Nebula into walking death. Death looks at Nebula and then turns away, and Thanos shouts, "Do not turn your back on me!" Death's servant tells him that Mistress Death finds his boast empty, and his bravado distasteful. Thanos stares at the servant, and just with a thought, the servant's decaying body explodes. Thanos then walks away and asks, "What have I done to deserve such rejection?" And Mephisto says, "Perhaps it's what you haven't done that has riled the maiden so." And Thanos tells him, "You're right, how inconsiderate of me. I've yet to complete the task that I was originally given. A lover should always follow through with a vow given." With that, Thanos walks down the steps, looking out into the cosmos, holding out his hand. Mephisto thinks to himself, he's really going to do it. And with that, Thanos snapped his fingers. Thanos' task was complete. And at that very moment, the superhero Spider-Man was out on patrol when he witnessed it himself. Half the people in the crowd disappeared. All across the world, people began to vanish. And Silver Surfer said that he can feel it all across the universe. People are being taken. Doctor Strange witnesses it firsthand at the sight of his servant and friend Wong disappearing. Silver Surfer then jumps up, grabbing Doctor Strange, yelling, "They're all dying! Billions upon billions of souls are blinking out of existence. They're all a part of death now." With the collapse of the Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange calls upon the help of Hank Pym, who himself didn't know what he could say. It wasn't until Hank left that Doctor Strange's Minotaur servant started to act strange. Strange looked at him, but instead of hearing his servant talk, he heard another voice. The voice told him that he may be the only person who can stop the insanity that is Thanos, but only if he is the one to lead the champions of righteousness. Doctor Strange asks how are they supposed to trust a being that they cannot see, and the being says that he can open his soul to him to show him that he is just, but his soul will be barred to him. After a few moments of thinking, Doctor Strange says that the danger that confronts them is too great. He must take the risk. But if he senses any treachery, Doctor Strange then begins to look into the soul of the being, and as he snapped back to reality, Doctor Strange says that it's all clear now. He has his complete trust. He will aid him. While this is going on, other beings begin to try and make sense of what is happening, including Eros. But just as he started to think that this is the work of his brother, in a blink of an eye, he finds himself staring at his brother Thanos. Eros looks around and sees Mistress Death and then Nebula suffering. And Thanos yells, "This is a family reunion. Let Nebula and yourself meet my new lover and mate, Death. Mephisto here is but an advisor." Eros asks, "How can this be a family reunion without our father present?" And Thanos tells him, "It's because Mentor was not invited, nor will he be." Eros sees Thanos wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, and then he uses his powers of manipulation, stating that everything is going to work out just as he wants, and if there's anything. But just as he finishes his sentence, Thanos asks, "Are you trying to use your emotional manipulating powers on me? Let me see how well you can charm without your mouth." And at that moment, Eros' mouth is removed. Later at the Sanctum Sanctorium, Surfer begins to open his eyes, and as he does, he sees a pair of eyes looking right back at him. He asks what happened, why is Dr. Doom here? And Doom, using his bots to contain Doctor Strange and his servants, tells Surfer that he shall enlighten him on what is happening around the world. Surfer jumps up shouting, "Unhand Doctor Strange!" But before he can get another word out, Doom blasts him, telling him that he shall fall victim to a superior intellect and power. Doom turns back to Strange, telling him that he will brief him on every detail that he knows about the great disappearance and forces behind it. But even before Strange can say a word, Doom's bots are ripped apart and a voice says that there is no need to threaten anyone, my good doctor. Doom spins back, asking, "Who dares speak?" And through the hole in the roof, Warlock says that it is his time. Many have called him Adam Warlock, and they may also do so if they feel inclined. While Warlock gets ready to gather Earth's forces, Thanos continues to display his frustration by releasing tantrums of displeasure, sending shockwaves across the universe. Those shockwaves easily destroy nearby planets and even shake the very core of the Earth. With most of New York falling to rubble, Warlock stands around stating that it appears everyone fared fairly well thanks to Doctor Strange's hastily casted spell of protection. The Minotaur servant then gets up asking what was that, and Doom tells him obviously an earthquake. Pip the Troll then says something must have really teed off a god, and Warlock says that is exactly what happened. Doom then says that it is time for action now, and Warlock tells him not yet. There are forces at work that you cannot even perceive. Currently I am weaving a delicate strategy with which rash actions could rend. Patience is needed. Doctor Strange says they must trust Warlock. He too senses tremendous powers gathering for a final confrontation. And after flipping through the pages of a book, Warlock drops it, asking Doctor Strange if he's ready to be executing the next step of the plan. Strange holds his hand up, casting a teleportation spell, stating, "Ready and willing." And over at the Avengers headquarters, there's a flash of light as Doctor Strange brings the group in, and Thor shouts, "Who is that?" Captain America says that it appears the Golden Man is Adam Warlock, and She-Hulk adds, and that's Dr. Doom. Warlock tells them to stay thy hand. Doom is an ally in this struggle, and right now we are on a mission which has brought us here, and that mission is to create an army. With that said, Doctor Strange begins to open up portals, bringing forth all of Earth's remaining heroes. Once there, Warlock tells everyone that there are still a few more allies that they require the aid of, cosmic allies to be exact. Doctor Strange opens up another portal, and Warlock and Surfer jump through. On the other side of space is a flash of light, and Quasar asks if it's time yet. And Warlock asks, have they not arrived? And Epoch tells him that the gathering has been awaiting his arrival. There's another flash of light, and then appear many of the great cosmic beings. The great Eternity calls out that he is the actuality Thanos strives to usurp. He comes seeking judgment from the one being he considers a peer. The Living Tribunal then says that they are present at Eternity's request to hear his case. Speak now. Eternity then says that the Mad Titan seeks to unbalance that which is, to throw the nature of the universe into a maniacal entropy. The Living Tribunal tells him, I have considered the matter and cannot concur. Thanos only strives to replace Eternity's importance with his own. Natural selection is one of the universe's oldest canons. The strong replace the weak. It is as it should be. No cosmic crime has been committed. The Living Tribunal shall not become involved in this matter. And as they disappear, so does Eternity, and Warlock says that it mattered not. They will deal with the forces still available to them. The Watcher then says that he too cannot be counted among these numbers. He remains a Watcher, and only here to observe and record. Warlock then says that it is sad, but nonetheless, the numbers that they have are more than sufficient to execute a plan of attack. Galactus then asks, do you expect Galactus to follow one such as you into battle? Galactus does not heed the empty words of insects, even golden ones. Warlock tells him then Galactus would be a fool, and a second later, Galactus blasts Warlock out of existence. Galactus turns back to the other cosmic beings, stating that they face a dire peril. Their defense would be more easily planned without the yammering of mortals to distract them. A voice calls out to Galactus, asking, does Galactus let his anger so badly cloud his judgment? And Galactus asks, is that? With that, Warlock is sitting on his head, telling him, just the yammering mortal who knows that naked power is seldom the answer to any problem. Master Order and Lord Chaos then tell Galactus that they know of this Adam Warlock. He is the one outside of the loop of destiny and capable of wondrous deeds. They choose to join forces with him. All of the cosmic beings soon agree to help. With one of them left to agree, everyone looks at Galactus. And a short while later, out in space, Mephisto looks up asking how long has he been hovering there. Thanos tells him for a few moments, but the Watcher's coming heralds are the beginnings of hostilities. The heavens shall run red with blood. He turns to Death, stating that his enemies will come for him. Will you stand by my side? But she remains silent and turns away. Thanos says that it is as he expected. If that's the case, he will create a supreme being worthy of his affection. As the Infinity Gems shine, there's a spark of light, and a woman steps forward as Thanos shouts, Death, meet Taraxia, the Terrible. She is everything that my soul longs for. Taraxia is everything that you are not, and I am no longer in need of you. As Death turns to leave, Thanos stares, still wanting her affection. Down on Earth, Warlock rallies everyone together, stating that they must prepare themselves for battle, one that is most fierce and awesome. Doctor Strange begins to teleport them to Thanos' location, and a second spell will be cast, allowing them to breathe in space for 60 minutes. Doctor Strange shall remain behind to monitor and evacuate any combatant who is too injured to continue the struggle. And with that said, best of luck to all. As the portal opens, Warlock and Silver are the first to jump through, and just as the Surfer realizes that they are alone, Warlock asks, can you see me? And the Surfer says yes. Thanos is looking in our direction. But I should not be in reserve. I should be a part of the battle. And Warlock says, you will be when the moment is right. Pip hits the timer for the breathing spell and tells everyone to get ready. And as the heroes all begin to jump through the portal, Warlock tells the Surfer, our allies' power is less than nothing against Thanos. They stand defeated before the battle has even begun. The true purpose of their attack is merely diversionary. They are sacrificial lambs. And may the stars forgive me, for that is what I have planned. And there you have it, our cliffhanger, Adam Warlock screwing over everyone in Marvel. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this original Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and if you want to know the conclusion to this, please hit that little subscriber button and then hit that little bell so you get notified when we actually put out a video. If you do like our opinions and things that we do with these videos, check us out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/eligiblemonster. We actually run the largest comic book review show over on Twitch as of the time of recording this, so if somebody trumps us, I got nothing. But it's every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, the largest comic book review show as of the time of recording this audio.